So, when I was at school in my last year, I didn't know what I was going to do for a living, and we had the opportunity to go to Lowestoft College on a Thursday afternoon just to sample a few different things, trades and all sorts really. And we had to have three options, and I put building as my last option because it was probably the least likely that I want to do. And funny enough, when I got into the brickwork shop, I just had this, I don't know, I just loved the smell of the workshop, and I loved the sound of the trowel scraping on the board. But at the end of it, because when you sample it for about 4 or 5 weeks, and then Mike Algar, who was like taking us for it, he was like the head brickwork lecturer at that time, he just said to me, he kind of bounced on his feet, and he never really gave you eye contact. He seemed to be quite nervous to be a senior lecturer, and he just said to me, "Have you ever considered brickwork as your career?" And I said, "No, not really." And he just said, "If I was you, I would seriously consider it." And from like being at school and just being obscure really, to then having somebody tell me that they thought I was good at something was a big boost for me. So it's because of him that I went down the path of brickwork. So if it wasn't for Mike Algar, I wouldn't be where I am and what I'm doing. So this next video is dedicated to Mike Algar, who was my first lecturer and the first person to ever put any faith in me really. So he put faith in an ordinary boy, and thanks to him, from the age of 17 when I started my apprenticeship to now at 63, I love every day at work. So thank you, Michael, and this video is dedicated to you. So that's the fireplace. Now setting it out on this pad, and the view here is going to be stunning. That is going to be the swimming pool, and all this gets dug out so that the lake comes right up and underneath and all the way around, and the only access is a little footpath is there, and it takes you all through the trees to just where those temporary buildings are there. That's where you park your car and bring all your bags into here, to this, and you've got all bifold doors here that go onto a little decking, so you're sitting in the lake basically. Beautiful. So set out, obviously we're going to change everyone's thermalights, but that's all I've got at the minute. I've marked everything out on the board, so you can see I just need a little bit cut out there, just a little bit trimmed off that one. And you said these would come out because obviously the wall comes to there on both sides. So obviously a little bit obviously to chop out on that one. I'm just going to get a bit of Osma and put it in there just so Sam knows where to cut or get it drilled. And forget that one. The bond, it's not really Flemish bond. They're only small bits anyway, but to get the cuts to work right and sort of symmetrical, I'm having to do this. And obviously where we got like 230, I always think that looks really horrible to have like a mitre cut on there. You get a straight joint going all the way up. So I've obviously just done squints on there, which I'll do the same on there once that timber's cut. But that's generally how I kind of feel the bond's going to be. So there's a lot of cutting to do, which whenever you have like squints 45s, it is always going to have a lot of cutting. But that's basically everything marked out, so I just put lines up when I come to do it. So all I'm going to do is, if we get the go ahead, once Sam's got this drilled out, to put polythene, what do you call it, 600 damp underneath, just so when Sam does all the flooring, that can link up to it. So that's what it looks like. Any queries or comments, much appreciated. Right, so I'm just taking the bricks and the blocks out, and we just had our plumbers come and put the vent pipe in, and they hit a bit steel on that one, so I just got to fill that one in, and just gonna give us a sweep, put the polythene down, and then I'm going to put lines up on all these relevant ones. I'm going to get one course down to just set everything out and double check all my measurements, and if I have to tweak something, then I might have to tweak, because although I did all of this with the greatest accuracy I could, when I laid it out dry, this main cheek, this one here, which is that one, and there's the main cheek there, so that'll go through there. That should be, that back wall on that cheek should be centre of the 140 blocks through there, and it was just slightly amiss. So I just want to put all the lines up and do a double check, and then make sure everything's working right before we make a proper start. Whilst working in a place like this, there's me down. Can you see why I love my work? Well, it's a windy day today, so I've just got the squares out and double checking all the setting out that I did, and a lot of these are bang on, but one or two of them I have had to tweak a little bit. These ones worked right. You see, this one I had to move over a little bit, this one I had to move over a little bit, because when I put the lines up and I just checked that everywhere was like 90 degrees, I could see that there was like discrepancies. So working it all out to start off with like measurements and that, and then obviously now doing it with proper squares and 45s, yeah, I just had to tweak a little bit, but I think I am happy with everything to start laying my first course. So just to point out how essential it is to double check your measurements, I was just like checking everything, and then I realised that this line here should be 1240 to like my frontage line in the lounge there, and I was about 40mm bigger. And obviously what I'd done was I'd laid this like this, where I should have laid it like so. So I'm going to obviously mimic that. I should have obviously looked at that one, so I've just got to shift all that back and then check again. That's why you have to check. So yeah, a bit windy, don't know if you can hear this, so just like set the lounge fireplace and the outdoor fireplace out, and I've marked all the cuts, and Jakey's now, we've done the majority of the cuts when I went down to have a little look, but for example, if you look at this fireplace here, you can just see that you've got closure, 3/4, then you got two kind of like count 3/4, 2 3/4, count 3/4, 3/4 closure. So, and the two reveal bricks are 3/4, and then we've got squints that we're cutting as well. So every single brick is a cut. And then when you get to the main fireplace, we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hole ones. So out of all of them, we've just got 6 hole ones on the first course. And then obviously to make this bond, we have got like a whole one there, just on the reveal, but then everything else is a cut. So yeah, lots of cutting. Jakey's been doing loads of cutting, so good lad, and or I should say good man. So I am now just going to do a double check. I am happy with all the lines, but I'm just going to do one final check, and then I'll take all the lines up and then get my block work in. So we get all the block work in, and we've got a little bit brickwork just to, no, that's just all block work around there as well. So block work, and block work through there. So that'll be check dimensions, lines out, and block work. I think it needs some water in that. So got the gazebo up because obviously they forecast a lot of rain tomorrow, so hopefully we'll get a little bit of hessian on the sides just to stop driving rain coming in, but hopefully it's not going to be too windy, because if it's windy then this will all end up in that lake. So anyway, so that's the block work as far as we can get, because we're still waiting for the 140s to turn up, and we're just going to use these ones up obviously on the kitchen area and just around the saw vent pipe, and then we will get on both fireplaces. And as you can hear, it is a bit windy, but we do have a little bit of shelter. So we've just done all we could today. Now we've run out of blocks, and we've got just a little bit of the brickwork that we can start. We've got the cuts there. So Jakey's going to be on the outdoor fireplace, and I will make a start tomorrow on the indoor one in the lounge. And we have got a forecast of a lot of rain tomorrow morning, so hopefully this will be enough to keep us dry. We'll see. So the old gazebo did us thing today, kept us dry. We just made a start on the outdoor fireplace. So we're still waiting for a drawing to determine where the arch is going to spring from. So tomorrow we'll probably both make a start on the lounge fireplace. But yeah, we'll see. But that was what was accomplished in the rain. Lots of cutting, obviously, and that's it really. Still waiting for blocks to turn up. Should have come yesterday, but they didn't. And just a drawing to get the spring points and see where the flues are heading. So while we're here, just have a look at Bond. It's not exactly what I would do, but because of the size of everything, these little return cheeks, I've kept all three of them cuts the same, because if I had to put a header in the middle of there, then the two triangular ones would have been tinier, and I didn't like the idea of having them too small. So we're going for like three sort of like roughly the same size. The back one is slightly bigger, so we did manage to get like a whole half in, I should say. But yeah, so that's all going to get covered with black soot at some point anyway. So if that was proper face work, the bonding obviously wouldn't have been like that, but probably would have been a bit more complicated. So anyway, that's how it's looking at the minute. I like it anyway. So we're just wondering, do we bring this one out like I suggested before, about 40mm, just so there's kind of like a shadow on the edge of the house when Bill does his pargetting, rather than it just be like flat and rely on his thickness of what do you call it, plaster, to represent the side of the house. So I just thought it'd be nice. And then obviously when we come above, with like crease and tiles for like a verge on the eaves of the roof on it. We just need to know, so we know how far to bring this out. So rather urgently really, because we're about to start. So we'll build it like this, so it gives us both options. Because if we do want it flush, we'll just run a cutter in line with the blockwork to cut it flush. But we'll either, if we build it like this, then we've got both options. We can leave it like that to highlight the side of the house, or we can cut them off later. So we've got quite a fine day today, and just continuing with the fireplace. I'm presuming that this is going to be like the striking point height, so I can get another course on there obviously if I need to, but with the, you can see the 3-centered arch there, the rise is that much, and so if you think about it on there, by the time we get is roughly, the opening would be from pretty much where those timbers are on the bottom there, just up a little bit. This is like finished floor level. So you've got that, and the top of the arch will be there somewhere. So I kind of feel that's right, but we're still just waiting for a drawing to confirm that. So I just got to give it a bit of a brush. Jakey is in the lounge now. He's now made a start in here. So we will just like press on, and the arch that goes over that, again not confirmed, but my idea is to do crease and tiles like this, and because the joints are quite big, I would mix red mortar up and then recess it back a little bit, only sort of like 3 or 4 mil just back from the tile, and then I might even take a little bit out and to get a fine lime white joint in there as well. I just think that would look really nice. So hopefully we'll go ahead with that. So just had a bit of a dusty time, hence using this one. Cutting all these for this. We're still waiting for confirmation that we're going to do this one. So I'm just going to put the arch centre, spin it round because I've only marked one side, so I'll do it round the other way. So I'll transfer all the marks on the introdos onto there. So the whole thing, you can just see here I've marked up this side, but I just need to mark that side up, so I'll do that in a minute. And then I will secure the 2 props, and I'll put a brace in between, cut myself some wedges, get them on there. Hello dog. And then we'll start getting these in. So got all the crease and tiles. I've just marked, just highlighted which ones are the tallest ones, just so as I'm going around I don't get confused. If I do get confused and put the wrong one in, then obviously this will tell me where I've gone wrong way before I get too far. So I've got my striking point for this middle section, and obviously it goes on there for the tight section. Same on there. So it goes around there, and that goes around to there. So there we go. And right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay these in a red mortar. So I'm now going to get some tub of mortar and get some red dye in and whisk it up. So Monday morning, and just looking at this, but just look at my morning view. So whoever stays at this place we're doing, every morning they're going to have potentially this to look at. Awesome. So that's the creepers done. I've just got to wall the arch up, but I'll do it first thing tomorrow, just to get rid of the few little bits and pieces of mortar that kind of stained it a little bit. But that's the creepers in. So we're just waiting for the scaffolders tomorrow, and then we will return and carry on. So back on the arch, obviously I've done all the gathering in. You can see it sort of like goes back obviously up to the flue there. And I've just got the ceiling around the top later on. So now I'm back on the front of the chimney breast. You can see obviously to keep it balanced, we've got these squints that we're cutting both sides. And obviously the chances of that point and that point working in bond would be a miracle. So obviously invariably we always do have to have a broken bond in the centre, so that's what we've got here. So we start Flemish or balanced, so obviously we've got the squint going off onto that return, and on the same course it's going off onto that return, so it's balanced. That means they're both the same. So stretcher, then a header, and then 2 small 3/4. And then obviously on the other course I've got the long side of the squint, and then you've got header and a header, stretcher, as in Flemish bond, but then the broken bond has a larger 3/4 in the middle. So this is what we call 2/1. So, and it'd be nice if you could put a panel in there, but then you'd have to have like a long thin panel. If it went a bit wider, that just kind of like takes your eye off the arch. So invariably this is what we have to do. So yeah. So we're obviously carrying on, just having a quick little look at what the twists might look like. So just working out my templates, doing a little bit of maths there, just to try and work out the best, well, how severe the twist can be really, because on our drawing it says 11 degrees, but 11 degrees is twice that. It's like nearly 100 mil. So I've gone down to 5.5 degrees, just to sort of get kind of like a 50 mil twist or lap each time. So that's kind of my proposal, but I'm just waiting for confirmation before we fix everything together. And obviously these will be my ones, and I've got to make another couple up for Jakey, because we'll be working either side of that. So there's the little sunrise arch again, and Jakey's just doing the house. which is in the lounge. So he's just taken up that rake and cut, and we'll put those crease and tiles, there's a verge on it, and that should look quite cool when it's all pargetted, and with hairs thatching the roof. That's what we're going to be doing. So yeah, here we go. So I've just temporarily pinned this one, so it's not in any fixed position by any means, but this is a 180 twist with this much lap. If I set it up to the what was that, a full twist in 31 quarters, that worked out I think 11.6 degrees or something, and when I did 11.6 from that center point and went out, that was nearly half a brick step. So I halved it again, so rather than 360, that's kind of like a 180. But I could adjust again to see, go a little bit more and see if I get about 270, but I think that obviously between those two we'll be looking about a 75mm step on each course. So I mean, I quite like this one, but the effect of just having what do you call it, 180 degree twist, I'm not sure if you think that's enough. So anyway, nothing's fixed yet, and we're quite a way off before we need it, so plenty of time to double check and think about it. Morning, Sam. Right, so we are now getting these into position. This one just comes up, and we don't have enough to get a wall in there. It's probably, unless we do cut that down a bit, we could cut that. I'm going to put a whole one on there. At the minute we've got that one cut, but I think we'll have to keep it cut like that, because again, the brick sits on there, so you get like 50mm gap. This is where this side goes round, so as the brickwork comes up, you're just going to have a very small gap. The brick's going to be about there somewhere. Let me get that in line, about there somewhere. So you're going to have like 20mm vermiculite round there, and so by the time we get that one in, that's going to be about 70mm close to that one. We're now putting bends on to get the vent pipe just in that area, but where do we put the extract for the cooker? Because obviously this is the stack, so this is the space that we've got space underneath, obviously. All we've got is this area here. So your thoughts on that, please? If I can get a bit higher up, maybe. Obviously you can just see that pencil mark is where that one comes up later, but this is like the space that we've got, so this is the only place really for that steel one. Your thoughts, please, and if you can give us a look, it would be great. Thank you. So this is the twisted stack that Jake and I are now on. I think I had a little bit of a recce in my mind, and I think this is the 11th twist that I've done, and they all vary from what do you call it, just like a normal standard twist like this one, to the ones that taper as they get smaller as they go up, and then we had the 12-sided one, then I've done the arch, and then there was the triple twist. So the twists, they kind of like vary in their form, but this is just like a straightforward one. We're going up to 1800, at least 1800 high above the thatch. So we've got 30 courses on this to do, and we are going to go on Jake's TikTok tomorrow, and we'll do a live stream on it. So if anyone, I'll put Jake's TikTok in the description, so if you are about, don't know how long I'm going to do it for, but yeah, there'll be a little video, live one. So the final course on this twist, and then we'll have 3 courses of dental work, and then scaffold will get dropped. It's quite a stumpy one, this is. It's 1800 high, but just over a metre square. So sort of like big and not a lot of height to it. Well, what a place to work.